Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This time it's going to be a little bit different. For those of you who already saw some other videos of me know that I live in the Netherlands and I recently moved from a village, from a city to a village. And we're still renovating in this house. I'm actually sitting now in one of the rooms we recently sort of finished, almost ready. We've chosen this beautiful forest wallpaper, which I'm very happy with. So this is the first time I'm talking to you from our new house. I'm very excited about that. I'm also excited later on to tell you more about the renovation, but this time in this video I wanted to explain more to you, a little bit more about what differences we experience from living in a city and now in a village. Of course, there are many differences. So I just wanted to share that with you. So first of all, I have to explain to you that there was nothing wrong with living in the city, except we were looking for a little bit more peace and quiet. We still have lots of contacts we adore in the city, and we still have contact with. What I miss foremost all is that we lived in a very multicultural area, and in this village that's not very much so the case. We have to get used to that because we loved talking to people of all nationalities. But although we still have very good contacts in the city, in the street where we lived in, and have lots of friends there, in this village, when we came to live here, we got a really warm welcome and got some presents, and everybody came to tell us that we are very welcome and wished us luck with the renovation, of course. So, the first difference. Everybody walks in the door, throws it open and calls "Volk," which means as much as "welcome" and "we're here." Even our person that delivers the packages, the plumber, the carpenter. That's a big difference. Everybody just walks in and they're very welcome. It's very nice actually. When we lived in the city, that's the difference. We always had to lock the door, only open the door when somebody rang the bell, and even lock the windows when we went out. So that's a big difference. Another difference we experience is that the villages here actually stop when we are outside or working on the house or in the garden. They make a small talk, they are interested in what we do with the house, of course, or they always greet us when they see us and each other, of course. In our former street in the city, we ourselves always greeted everyone that responded, and of course everyone we knew and still know, but we noticed that we were kind of an exception when it came to greeting everybody. And it's totally different here. Over there in the city, people walking by in our street didn't greet everybody. Maybe not everybody had the need to do that, of course, but it's something what we experience as a difference. And the traffic, we are still amazed and amused at the same time when we see what kind of vehicles drive around the village streets and country roads. I'm talking about tractors with harvesting caskets for fruit, like apples and pears. Also a bit scary sometimes, big harvesting combines. For instance, horses and wagons, you name it. Also, our house is located in the middle of the Betuwe, and that's a large route for walking and hiking or driving by car. Sometimes we can enjoy beautiful old-timers, for instance, or motorcycles. That's a little bit noisy, but they're sometimes very beautiful. And of course, people touring on their bike or hikers. It's obvious we didn't have any of that in the city, and the only thing I remember is that you could never ever find a parking space. And of course, the quietness outside at night, but also at daytime. The first few nights, I have to admit, I could suddenly wake up from the silence. Does that even make sense? I mean, waking up from silence. Hardly any car passes by after 10 or 11. And there is absolutely no noise of the highways. Don't get me wrong, we love the quietness and the peace, but it took some time to get used to it. The rooster from our neighbors across the street is actually mostly the first thing we hear in the morning, sometimes even a little bit too early for our liking. But the difference is, of course, living in the city, we were sort of built in with highways, and it didn't matter from which side the wind came. We just heard the noise of the highways everywhere. We would always hear it, and of course, you can imagine living in a city means you always have more noise outside from cars or people walking on the streets, some nightlife, of course. So, big difference. And then, of course, maybe the most important one, and of course my favorite one, nature is close by. I only have to walk or ride 1 minute and I'm in the middle of nature. I'm in the middle of the fields, alongside the river, close to the forest, or walking on the dike, which is beautiful. And we can really enjoy the wonderful diverse nature sightings of the countryside. And I feel just blessed and enormously grateful that we have the opportunity to live here. In the area where we lived in the city, there are of course some parks, but to really be outdoors without being surrounded by sounds, other people, well, you had to ride for a little while or walk a half an hour. The landscape wasn't that diverse as here, so we really enjoyed it. So, there you have it. The top 5 of my experiences of the differences living and moving from a city to a village. Of course, I'm very curious if there are any of you out there that have maybe a comparable experience, and Also, where do you live? Let me know in the comments, and I will promise you I will answer each and every single one of you. I would love to get to know you. Please consider to click on the subscribe button for updates on my journey through life and my experiences again from living in this village in this beautiful nature. And maybe also the like button below, because I would love to know if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. And it's actually a big surprise, because I will be talking about and I will show you more of the house we moved to and the renovation, with lots of material that will show the before and the after results. Thank you so much for watching, and groetjes from the Netherlands.